I met a gypsy.
Sherco 450 maybe.
Do they have any weird capacities?
They have a 300 four-stroke that's actually sick.
That might be the one.
I'm not a 450 guy. Like,
nah, same.
They're so gnarly.
Yeah.
But yeah, every time I ride one in a moto tracker, I'm like, oh, I missed that rut. Oh, I missed that. Okay, I guess I'm going outside again. Here we go.
Yeah.
But the 300 four-stroke is like, it doesn't pack like that, like hit that the KTM 350 does, but it's like more like easy to ride.
Yeah.
Like torquey. It's like a super torquey 250F.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what I was riding for a while in enduro cross, but it's like the best single tracky off-road bike because it's just, you can't do anything wrong. It doesn't have enough power to like get you in trouble.
Yeah.
Then it's got plenty to pull you around. So like that bike's honestly super fun to ride. So that would probably like,
I've been told by a lot of people, I was almost going to do Fink in Australia a couple years ago, and I think the Sherco, like Australia, were going to help me out with the bike, and then that's the one that they said.
Yeah, it's just way more manageable, and it's and then they just came out with an all brand new motor from the ground up for like the 250F and 300F platform.
Right.
So I think we pumped those motors up with Race Tech for enduro cross, and then I think we ran it on the dyno, and they saw our numbers, and they're like, oh, we should probably make these stock motors a little bit better. Plus they were, with a smaller brand like that, it's harder to develop as frequently as KTM. So it was on the boards for a new bike. So
and that just come out? Yeah,
it just came out for 24.
Huh. Yeah. All right, that might be. We might have just sold me.
Might have just sold you.
So they what are the components and stuff they got?
Yeah, it's got Brembos and KYB.
Oh, bang.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. People are like, oh, I can't get parts for them. Like, most of it is like
just other bike
like
parts.
at home. Like, I blew a fork seal, and I'm just like, don't want to spend the time to mail it to Race Tech because it's not convenient for me. Like, I just go to the local shop and I got Yamaha fork seals and
just
put it on my bike.
Take it to Yamaha, dude.
It's easy. I just do it myself. I'm an off-road guy. Like, we do these things. I did my own lower fork tube with like no suspension tools. I just like stuff in my toolbox.
No shit.
Yeah.
Fucking gangster.
Kind of. It's a little ghetto, but but then it's funny because like I have like the special like SKF, like the green fork leg or whatever, but then I just bought something at like the local shop and it's like an orange one, so I have like mismatched colored seals on my bike, and I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Dude, have you ever seen the tests, like back-to-back tests of what SKF fork seals, or am I saying it right? It's SKF,
SKF, right? I think so, yeah.
Have you ever seen the videos? Like, if you're at home, Google, like, it's actually insane. I fully rate the
color of the seal, or
the green seal, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't have anything on your fork, it's like completely disassembled, but the inner and the outer tube are together, and you put it in a vise upside down and you drop the fork. Man, that SKF one slaps, right?
Yeah.
And this is like a stock KTM I'm referring to. The stock KTM air fork, you drop it and it's like, and it stops. That is one product that I am not sponsored by or endorsed by, but I fully
believe in it just from that video.
What you can, but you can feel it like on your bike, like when you get your forks back together and you actually just no coatings, no nothing. Those seals actually make a full on difference.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm doing something right by buying SKF. We're sponsored by them too, so I guess that's probably why I got them on my bike. But.
Yeah, but no, they're actually, I feel like that's a little kind of gem of a product that a lot of people don't realize. Like if you get your suspension revalved and you don't use those seals, you're actually kind of
you're wasting money right now.
Yeah, like you're actually cooking it. Like it makes a big difference.
You think about like factory, supercross teams or something like that. Like obviously they have all the best stuff you can for suspension, but like think about like having your motors, everything polished in there or like resurfaced. Like we did that once for one of my motors, and like I noticed a difference. Like it just seems to rev freer.
Yeah.
I don't know. We did like cryo. I don't know what they did to it, but they took like the clutch basket out and a bunch of other stuff, and basically like it's hardened.
Yep.
And polished, and like things shift easier and stuff like that. So
well, apparently, so Townley was telling me that was, remember that like kind of 06, 07, 08 like PC domination in the early 4-stroke 250 days?
Yeah.
So apparently they used this company in the UK, and it was they just did all DLC coding.
I know. I've heard of
gearboxes.
this company. They still make custom transmissions for all the teams, right?
Yeah. Well, so it was just PC.
At the time.
They sourced it, they found it, they started working, and it was kind of a secret for those few years. But BT reckons it's like 4 horsepower.
Really? Just from like friction,
all the coatings,
like
and like
limiting all the friction in the motor and like less hangups.
Yep. Yeah, he said it was like, I mean, we fucking clickbaited it, of course, but it was like, he said it was like legal cheating.
Wow.
And nobody else was doing it. And he's like, man, it was a game changer.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess it makes sense. Like, there's just way less friction going on. Everything probably fits perfectly. I'm sure it's like custom made versus just like a cast piece or something that just is on the assembly line.
Yeah, and then you think about the durability that you would get out of it, and you know, like, because there's everybody. Cody's an engineer too, so I'm talking to a smart guy about this kind of stuff. But
smartish,
smarter than me. So we'll say in context, it's just 2 of us in this room. So he's the smartest. He's the smartest person in this room. So, but yeah, it was like, you think about the like you'd have in a stock gearbox, you'd have like bits of shavings and like shit kind of wearing and coming off. Like,
oh yeah, first time you change your oil on a brand new bike, it's like dark. It's nasty.
Yeah, so you think about like the difference. I really want to do it one day on a bike, but it's like,
it's crazy expensive, I'm sure.
It's super expensive, and also like bikes just change so much these days that it's like kind of hard to.
I will admit, I found out the hard way like 2 weeks ago that the Sherco 2-strokes are pretty reliable because I changed oil, but I forgot to put oil back in. I literally went riding like 2 days later, and I was like, I did a full warm-up moto for Enduro Cross since we're like finishing off the Enduro Cross season. Did like a full warm-up. I'm riding around. I'm like, my clutch seems a little draggy. like really like snappy-ish. And then I'm like, did a full moto, like race pace. And I'm like, the clutch was squalling, and I was like having a hard, it was just like really aggressive, like basically like a dry clutch would be acting. And then I was like trying to get it to act up again. I'm like, it's never done this before. And I ride back to the van. As I'm putting my bike on the stand, I was like, fuck. Like I realized, so I like checked to make sure. And like, I like normally take the filler cap off when I drain it, just to like get more like, I don't know, air pressure, you know, like push it through. I don't know. That's my thought process. But it was like barely finger tight. And I was like, yep.
Yeah, I did not put
I really messed up. So I was at my buddy's house, and he had a bunch of Motul, which is what we run. So I was like, perfect. Like, put some whatever 300V 1540 weight, like whatever in it, and rode the rest of the day. Went home and rode the next like Saturday, Sunday on it. And because I didn't have any new clutch plates, like I was like, I need a new clutch in this thing for sure. So I ordered some Friday. They showed up just because of the weekend. I think they showed up like Tuesday, so I like didn't have time. I didn't want to mess with it, so I rode again Tuesday. Got home, changed the oil. It didn't even look that bad. It smelled kind of burnt, and like the plates weren't even like I've ruined clutches in hard enduros, and like it still looked pretty good. And I was like, wow, like I guess Motul, like shout out to you guys, you got some good oil, because I ran that thing literally just with leftover stuff in the clutch and did a full moto and everything.
That scares me.
Still good. And I took the clutch out, and I'm like, I'll save this in a plastic bag for later.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.